from the KBJR TV studios, you're watching the news at 10 on Northern News Now.
Good evening, I'm Dan Wall.
And I'm Laura Lee. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We have new details on the wildfire burning up in the Boundary Waters.
Officials in the last couple hours telling us it's gotten smaller, but planned for a big BWCA closure. Forest Service says the Spice Lake fire started late yesterday afternoon and is burning about 10 miles west of the Gunflint Trail. Some good news. We're told the fire is down to 20 acres tonight compared to 30 acres this time yesterday. Superior National Forest officials are still planning to close a, quote, fairly large area of the BWCA around the fire due to concerns the fire could spread rapidly when winds pick up. They plan to announce specifics soon. Several campers have already been guided out of the area. After a delay this morning due to low clouds, crews are now fighting the flames from the air. Ground crews are being taken into the area by float plane. A 19-person hotshot crew will arrive within the next few days to help, and no structures are currently threatened. However, leaders worry a run north or south could change that in a hurry. No word yet on what sparked the fire. And find updates on the Spice Lake fire 24/7 at northernnewsnow.com. We'll also pass along the details of the partial BWCA closure on air and online as soon as they're announced.